You have watched all the videos. You want to dip your toes in the water of life. So many distilleries, where to start, and of course, where to buy. Here is my list of maybe free whiskies plus an alternative that you might find very tasty. And of course, a little bit of a disclaimer. We don't all like the same things. So it's a little bit of a hit and miss for most people. And a suggestion from my side, try it before you buy it. Go to a pub, give it a try. Find a place that sells samples. That's always a good place to start. Make sure that you enjoy the whiskey before you spend your hard-earned money on something that you are not going to like. Some people might like vanilla, some people like chocolate, and then you get some strange people that like TCP, iodine, hospital, Band-Aid, tar, all of those things that should not be in a whiskey for me. So stick around and welcome to the Whiskey Lovers Society with me, Gerder Tief. And I am going to talk about 3 whiskies that I really enjoyed over the last couple of years. A whiskey, well, I do get quite a lot of people asking me which one do I start with. Now, I had a couple of friends that started off with a Lefroy 10. My strange friends like the peated whiskey. Not a lot of people will enjoy it, but of course to each its own. And the list that I'm going to provide is something that, a little bit of a Japanese whiskey, maybe a little bit of a Scotch whiskey, and of course traveling a little bit to the US of A and drinking a little bit of a light sweet whiskey. And I'm going to start off with a little bit of a Japanese whiskey. Something that I really enjoyed over the last couple of years is the Suntory Toki, a cheap whiskey, a whiskey that is lovely, light, sweet, friendly, apple orchards, fruity components into it, a light whiskey. And a whiskey that, you can enjoy even if you want to add a little bit of a whiskey highball, a little bit of a soda water, maybe a little bit of a cocktail. It's a general all-purpose type of whiskey. And it's a starter and a whiskey that you're really going to enjoy no matter how you want to drink that whiskey. Cost maybe 40 to 50, depend on where you are. So it's not an expensive whiskey, and it is a whiskey that brings out that lightness, that sweetness, that vanilla flavors, a little bit of a woodiness into it, but nothing excessive. And it is just something that you're going to pour and enjoy. Definitely something that I would recommend. Now, if you do have a little bit more money and you want to try a little bit upscale, definitely I would go, Yoichi maybe. Also quite an enjoyable one. Also in that same light, friendly, sweet, vanilla, apples, pear notes. The whiskey that is approachable, can be a little bit expensive. You can also look at maybe a Yamazaki, the Distiller's Reserve Yamazaki, no age statement whiskey, but it is a lovely, light, friendly, sweet whiskey, and something that I've been drinking it quite some time. Can be a little bit expensive. If you want to up a level a bit, maybe a 10-year-old can also be fantastic. So that is definitely something from Japan that I would encourage you, give it a try, and you're not going to be disappointed. The next one on my list, and I've given this quite some thought, and this is really the first single malt whiskey that I have tried in my life, and I remember it as if it was yesterday, and I think it was about maybe 1998 to 99, so many moons ago, sitting in the lounge, Air France lounge in Johannesburg, South Africa, and I was looking at all the couple of whiskies that were standing there, and one popped out for me, a 12-year-old. 12-year-old was way above my pay grade then, and I was looking at this 12-year-old, and it was a Glenlivet 12-year-old, and I was super impressed with that. I gave it a wee sample, pour it, sit back, and I was like, wow, what is this? I am used to blended whiskies, the Johnny Walkers, Maximum, the Black Label, maybe a Chivas Regal, but all of those blended whiskies was in my future then, and I was looking at this wonderful thing called a single malt whiskey, and it was just fantastic. It is that sweetness that came out, that lovely flavors of that Glenlivet is just fantastic. Price-wise, maybe 40 to 50 to 60 euros. Again, I'm not really worried about the price tonight, but it is still a budget whiskey. It is an age statement whiskey. It's 12 years old, so definitely something that you will find very nice and lovely drinkable whiskey. It is nothing offensive that comes out, nothing that just stabs you in your mouth, stabs you in the nose. It is that Christmassy feeling that I get when I drink this Glenlivet 12 years old. Flavor wise, we look at a lovely appley note. I do like an appley note. Also reminds me a little bit of the Orchard House, the Compass Box Orchard House. It's like a appetizer and pear notes, and you get vanilla notes. You get all of those lovely flavors that comes out. So definitely, if you have the time, give Glenlivet a go, and you're not going to be disappointed. And of course, if you want to up the level a little bit, you can go into the 18-year-old Glenlivet, get a little bit pricey, or maybe even the Glenfiddich 18, 12-year-old as well. But for me, the Glenlivet 12-year-old was the best option price-wise, and of course you can always up the level a little bit later on. The last one on my list is definitely something from the USA. Now I have two alternatives that I will suggest. The one, Buffalo Trace. I've never been disappointed in Buffalo Trace. A straight Kentucky bourbon. It is lovely. It's sweet. It's that corny note. It's something that is completely different from the previous two whiskies. The Scotch is a category on its own, but sometimes you can get a little bit confused between the Japanese whiskey and the Scotch whiskey. There's a lot of intertwining going on. It's a lot of similar flavors, but when you get to the bourbon and the Kentucky straight bourbon, you have two options. This Buffalo Trace, it is absolutely fantastic. But Wild Turkey 101 is definitely up there as well. Not going to break the bank. Lovely flavors, lovely sweetness, butterscotchy note, brown sugar note. It is quite it is quite a strangeness into the taste as well. And if you are not used to bourbon type of whiskey, it can be a little bit strange in the beginning. Sometimes it does take a little bit of time. Well, I can also see my American friends telling me, well, we have the same with Scotch. It's a different taste. We don't like it. Well, give it some time. I didn't like it the first time, but I tried a bourbon. It was Jim Beam White Label. It was absolutely disgusting. I bought that bottle. It went straight into the cupboard for probably about 10 years. And 10 years later, I got married and my wife put it in the dustbin. It was disgusting. Nobody wanted to taste it. But now I've grown up and I've got a more sophisticated palate. And yeah, I do find it so much better now. And those two whiskies are definitely something that I would love for you to try. And of course, give me a comment. This is not for the connoisseur. This is not for the people that's deep in their journey. So please, you can make a comment, of course, but definitely if it's this is for beginners and a little bit of a variety and a little bit of an idea of what will be a good whiskey. Now on that as well, I would suggest go Try the samples. If you know what is your flavor profile, my profile, for example, I like sweet whiskey, I like sherried whiskies, I like ex-bourbon cask whiskey, I like Pedro Ximénez cask whiskies, I like a light whiskey, I like a whiskey that has got that fruity components. I'm not a big fan of the peated whiskies, although if you add that Pedro Ximénez or sherry cask into some of my peated whiskies, I do like it. So it takes some time to get used to some of the whiskies, but we don't all have the time to go sit and go through all these thousands of whiskies to find something. So what I would also suggest, go look online, go to YouTube. Well, you are here at the perfect place. Look at some of the videos of that creator, and you will quickly see a pattern in most of the videos. What type of whiskey that person like. You go try it, and if you like the same type of whiskey, if you have the same profile as me, then you can start looking at more of my videos, of course. Like, share, and subscribe. And then you would know if I say this is something that I really like and you have the same flavor profile, then you have a good idea that you might like it as well. Still, you need to try a sample because you cannot take anybody's word it's going to be the best whiskey ever. I've done this numerous times where I see a content creator, big names, not a small channel like me, ranting and about this one, raving about that one. I said, I need to try it as well. I go spend stupid money on a whiskey, try it, and my word, it's not my cup of tea. So make sure that you make an informed decision before you go out and spend the money. So that's me on the free plus a little bit of an alternative of my best entry-level beginner whiskey that I think you will enjoy. Leave a comment, and of course, as usual, please remember to like, share, and subscribe. I'm still traveling a little bit, another week, 2 weeks of holiday, and then I will go back to my normal, in my pub and having a good couple of whiskies in the summertime in Belgium. So see you next time. Cheers.